Welcome back. It's Jamaica Live. We are on Bridge 99. We're broadcasting live here, not only in Jamaica, but broadcasting live through Irish Jam in New York. We've been talking farming today. What is good about it? But what is wrong with it? And what can be done to fix it? And we're very pleased now to be joined by somebody who seems to be a fixer. My next guest, Mr. Gassan Azan. Now, Mr. Azan is the CEO of Bashco. He's the CEO of Mega Mart. But he has launched an ambitious multi-billion-dollar agricultural project. And we want to talk to him about it. Gassan, are you online? Do we have Mr. Azan online? I thought we did. We want to talk to him. Hello, Gassan.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you been?
I'm good, you know. I actually promised you a tour some time ago, and I'm delinquent.
But you're not keeping your promise.
No.
Tell me now. You have decided to go where other private sector people have gone and failed. But I've known you for a long time. I know failure is not in your vocabulary. And bad investment choices is not part of your DNA. Tell us about the project.
We don't like them, that's for sure.
Tell us about the project and what is different about it. What is it that grounds your confidence in this major investment you have undertaken?
So, Bruce, about, I want to say 2015, we went to a trade show in the Dominican Republic. And while we were at this trade show, I was invited to go and tour some farms up in the Rancho Arriba area. And I was overly impressed with what I saw. I not only was overly impressed, but they told me that all the produce consumed in the Dominican Republic was grown locally, meaning for the local population, but also for their extensive tourist trade, which is about, I think, 4 times what ours is. So having seen that, I said to myself, but this is a huge opportunity that we have not tried to tap into in Jamaica, and I wondered why. And I think what has happened with us in Jamaica is that we've stuck to this old rural agrarian mentality of the small farmer and the 5-acre plots being handed out to the small farmers. Most of what we saw in the Dominican Republic were big farms. And yes, we did see some small farming which fed into the big farms. But for the most part, the small farmers did better by linking up with these big farms. So I said, well, how strange it is that we don't have something like that going on in Jamaica. Then I also saw where we were importing tostones, green planting, from the Dom Rep. And where, for example, Jamaica producers are now the largest manufacturers of banana and plantain chips and cassava chips in the Dominican Republic. It's a Jamaican company. So I'm not saying anything is wrong with it. I'm just saying that there's huge opportunity right there in our own backyard to do these things.
That
was the genesis of it.
Tell us a little bit about the project now, because you promised to take me on a tour. You haven't done that yet, so I need to learn from you. No. And the listeners need to learn. Tell us about the project. Describe it to us. What is the difference that this project is making?
So 2016, we appealed to the government for some lands out at Bernard Lodge, which was before the whole master plan thing for Bernard Lodge. By 2018, they approved it. We got linked up with the same guys who did all the acreage in the Dominican Republic. They're actually from Spain. And they came to Jamaica. They assessed the conditions out there, the water supply out there and everything. And they gave us this plan. I said to them, look, basically I can start by my own cash flow. So we gave them what we needed to grow for ourselves to ensure that we would have some kind of buffer against sales, right? And the initial project is now, well, the incubator is 10 acres, which is now complete and planted. And that, remember something as well, I don't know what the yields are for outdoor, but I know when this guy is telling me that 5,000 square meter, which is approximately 55,000 square foot, which is just over an acre, can produce me 500,000 pounds of tomato in 8 months. No matter the weather condition outside, because remember, these are controlled environments.
You need a couple hundred acres to do that outside.
I would figure that, Bruce. So that's the sort of scale that we're on. Now, we've finished the first 10 acres and we're ready to move on to the second 10 acres.
Is all of this covered or this is open?
Covered.
Mm-hmm.
It's a variety of coverings. So you have mesh houses, you have greenhouses, and then you have hydroponic houses. And the hydroponics are really the most interesting thing. The one we went to in the DR, one 40-foot container was being exported every week from a house that was 55,000 square foot. So you can imagine the sort of volumes that these things kick off.
How long have you been at it now, Gassan?
Well, if you call it 5 years from we saw it first.
No, from you really started in terms of putting in your crops.
About a year.
About a year.
About 6 months, because COVID really played a hassle with us. Because remember, all the technical know-how is coming from outside.
Yes.
So for about a year, we couldn't get technicians out of Europe to come to Jamaica.
So you're actually reaping now?
Yes. Yeah. We're reaping cabbage, we're reaping kale with purple cabbage, a variety of lettuces.
And I know you'd be watching your numbers, because a big problem with agriculture is that our small farmer doesn't understand how to calculate what his productivity is. He don't know what his cost of production really is, because so much of it is his labor he puts in. I know you'd be watching your numbers. You are you and you're ahead of your game.
Hugely profitable.
Yes.
Hugely profitable is what I would say, and plan to be more profitable.
All right, now let me put this to you.
The problem with agriculture, Bruce, is a simple one. The small farmer, as you say, is for the most part uneducated, rural, and doesn't really know his cost, doesn't even know how to calculate his cost. The middleman takes his produce and says, I will pay you when I get paid. So the middleman is who is actually making the bulk of the money.
Well, let me put this to you now, because as I say, you have gone where others would fear to go. Let me put this to you. You are perhaps and I think you would acknowledge this, you are perhaps in an advantageous position in the sense that through Mega Mart, you have a ready outlet, you have an outfit that is well efficiently managed so that you have your market intelligence, you have the agility to respond depending on what the market is saying. If I were talking about investing now and I don't have a Mega Mart, would I be taking a crazy risk to go put in that kind of money, not being sure what I'm going to do with that? I mean, when I come out with the crops, for example, maybe the market is already flooded. Is that a market? Is that a factor in an investment decision?
That is a complete. That you've just summed it up. Because the truth is that if you're going to go into this without some kind of, as you say, we own the retail shelf, so we can decide to put our products on the shelf. You going into it by yourself. You have to find a market. And the market in Jamaica is very fickle.
Yes.
So all the tourist guys sit there and they say to you, but come on, we can't get regularity of supply. And I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm saying that's their argument. So they get the import permits to bring in whatever they want to bring in for the hotel.
Yes.
So the risk that you're taking, and then secondly, it's not just the marketing risk you're taking, it's a financial risk.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I've been in business over 30 years. I've never been bankrupt. I've never had a failure. And I can't get $1 to borrow for this project.
Are you
And
serious?
we've completed the project. That's correct. Not $1.
And your name Gassan Azan?
You better believe that.
I don't believe you.
I'm telling you.
Let's suppose you didn't name Bruce Golding.
But
Let me ask you another question, because we're running out of time. Let me ask another question. And Donovan, Stanbury, with whom I spoke to this. I expressed to him a concern that there's a danger that when a Gassan Azan pumps that kind of money into an agricultural project and succeeds as he's determined to, and he's producing his cabbage, and no doubt he's going to start producing his carrots. Next thing now, the small farmer in St. Elizabeth rolls into town with his pickup full of his cabbage and his carrots. And the supermarket that he normally sells to tells him, listen man, I can't pay you so much for your carrot and your cabbage anymore because I can get it from Mr. Azan cheaper because Mr. Azan is producing so efficiently. Are you a threat to the small farmer, Gassan?
I don't see us being a threat, Bruce. I see us being able to get the small farmer to where they need to get to. The truth is that a man who is farming 5 acres of produce
can't compete with you.
Have a market.
Can't compete with you.
Well, he can't compete price-wise, But we're not selling into the municipal market.
Yes.
Which is where most of his produce is ending up.
But you mentioned that you said that what you saw in the dam rep involving some kind of integration between the big capital-intensive investment and the smaller farmers. Is that something on your agenda?
We have 200 small farmers farming for us right now.
Already?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, because we can't grow everything, all our needs.
I see.
So because we launched this program now and we have cold storage and all that. For example, a simple thing like this. I said to the Minister of Finance the other day, I said, I tell you better than that. Rather, took 6 months to approve me a pickup license at a discount. I said to the minister, I said, do you realize that I do not need a pickup? What I need is refrigerated trucks. Because when you harvest lettuce in the middle of the day, Bruce Golding, lettuce full of water,
yes.
By the time it reaches a retail shelf, that man who was supposed to yield 10 pounds is yielding 6.
Yeah, the water evaporate. But
So,
in terms of your relationship with the 200 farmers you say you're dealing with, are you in a position to provide them with sort of technical assistance, quality control, advice, and that kind of thing?
That is really what we do. Some technical assistance, some financial assistance, and the crop comes to us.
Yes.
And then we pre-pack it and put it on our shelves.
And when the crop comes to you and you do your grading, are you satisfied with the quality that you're getting?
Yes, for the most part, because the technical side is being fulfilled.
Yes.
So we're trying to elevate the quality. I'm gonna I think I have your phone number. I'm gonna send you some photographs shortly.
Yes.
Of stuff that's coming out of the greenhouses.
Yes.
And you'll see that it's looking more like things that belong on a U.S. shelf as opposed to what we've constantly. I mean, I don't want to put down anything, but the truth is, if we don't elevate this in Jamaica, we're not going to get the growth that we want.
Well, Well, put it this
It
way.
is the single biggest area that can produce growth in Jamaica right now.
Put it this way. We have had the experience of the spring farm, spring spring plains in the past.
Spring Plains.
We
Yeah.
have had various other private sector initiatives. They have turned out to be disappointments. I have a lot of faith in what you're doing, Gassan. I really have a lot of faith in what you're doing. And I know the kind of determination and the kind of acumen that you bring. And I hope you're going to be successful because I believe that it may open a door that's been jammed for us for a long time. And a door through which not only people like you, but a lot of small farmers would be able to enter and come upon a whole new horizon of opportunity. So I want to congratulate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruce.
And
Thank you. But I just want to add one thing to what
if I don't hear from you soon, I'm going to turn up at the gate one day and just tell the supervisor, listen, no, I can't wait till Mr. Azan no more. I come look on the thing.
One day we'll go out there and eat lunch. I think you'll be surprised.
All right.
Truly.
I look forward to that. Look forward to that. Thank you so much, Gassan.
But before we go, I just want to tell you something. The diaspora in the United States are some of the largest consumers of breadfruit and ackee.
I'm sure.
The Dominican Republic doesn't eat either of those products, but they're planting out entire orchards of it now in order to ship it to the United States. Can you believe that?
Taking advantage of our patrimony, no?
That's right.
Yeah. What can I tell you? Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been very useful. I believe that listeners both here and in New York, I believe that their ears have perked up when they heard what you're doing. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
All right.
We take a break? No, we go straight forward. We just have a few minutes left, and we have one more guest that we're going to bring on now. Somebody I've known for a long time, and somebody who can bring an interesting perspective. Mr. Hugh Gentles, the Honorable Hugh Gentles, the Custos of Trelawney, but that's not the capacity in which we have invited him here today. He's the CEO of Glastonbury Farms, which is perhaps the largest purveyor of agricultural products in Jamaica. And they provide a vital marketing dimension for small farmers because they take a lot of agricultural produce from small farmers, mainly in Trelawney, Manchester, I suspect St. Ann and even Clarendon. And they supply supermarkets across the island. They supply hotels, restaurants. So he can give us an important perspective on this whole farming thing that we've been discussing. The Honorable Hugh Gentles, do we have you on the line?
I'm here, Mr. Golding.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hugh, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks. Fine.
Tell me something. I kind of told my listeners who you are and what you do, but isn't it true that as one of the largest suppliers of whole agricultural products to the retail and the end user, isn't it true that you can't get enough from local farmers to meet the demand of your customers? So you have to import a lot of stuff. Isn't that true?
Not exactly. The problem is that it's our farmers. So there are times when there's just too much local produce, believe it or not, and we are unable to lose it because the market is glutted. And then there are other times when there's just not enough. It's the inconsistency in supply that is our major challenge with produce. For instance, greenhouse farmers or shade house farmers will typically take down their shade houses at the beginning of the hurricane season because they fear having losses. So, but that production period coincides with the beginning of the tourist season. So, and that's when my demand is greatest for product, and that's when I can't get it. They put them back up, and then they're back in full production, and come spring, we have tons of bell peppers. But there are no tourists. The hotels have reduced their orders. And that's part of the challenge we face.
How do you...
So we could even out that production.
How do you stabilize that? I mean, would refrigeration facilities provide some answer to that?
It would in some cases for some crops such as potatoes and onions, carrots. It would help tremendously. But there are other crops such as romaine, lettuce, bell peppers. That the shelf life is just the life in cold storage is not going to last. It's not going to hold for 3-4 months. That's the issue.
No.
The issue is to get the challenge is to get farmers to keep producing consistently throughout the year. Part of that is to get more of them into protected agriculture.
Yes.
And to keep those shade houses up.
To what extent are you able to provide a kind of bridge to the farmers in terms of intelligence? In other words, are you able to guide the farmers to say, well, don't go plant too much of this because that is not going, the market not going to grab that? You're interfacing with the farmers. Is that dynamic? Is that agile? We do, but is a very challenging challenge. It's very challenging. We have had meetings. Sometimes we pull in a lot of our farmers who supply us with products. We put on a little lunch, and we try to explain to them that, look, let's spread the production out so we don't have everything coming in and then the challenge is they get upset when we can't handle all of the production at once when it peaks. And then, this becomes a big turnoff for them. But we're saying, look, spread your production out over the 12 months. And that way we can also maintain a good price to you. Because when the market is glutted, we have to go down with the price because we're not the only purveyor in the market. There are other purveyors. So the price goes down, we have to go down. Otherwise, the supermarkets won't take it from us or the hotel. Hugh, this is leading me to a question that we really haven't explored in the whole of the discussion today. And I'm running out of time, so we're not going to be able to go very far in it. But tell me, has our processing sector, agro-processing capacity, has that lagged behind? Because surely, if the farmers are coming to you with stuff that you can't unload on your supermarkets and your hotels, but there is a factory somewhere that you can load it all up because that can be put in cans and those cans can be on the supermarket shelf for a whole year. Has that stepped up to the plate or is that lagging behind, and why? Is it a question of the economics of it, the numbers just don't match?
That's a very interesting question, a very interesting topic. But the problem that the processors face is the same problem we face, a lack of consistency. So sure, the processor will.
But they don't need consistency, Hugh. Well, if you have too much, if you have too much carrots in September and October, and they take it and they turn it into carrot juice, put that in the warehouse. Come November and December, you can't give them the carrots because you have to meet your hotels and so on. But at least the surplus didn't go to waste. We didn't use it to feed pigs because it is now in cans, and those cans have a shelf life of 12 months. No?
Absolutely. And it is part of the solution. However, the surplus is not enough to carry a processor through the 12 months. So, okay, he'll take off a good, and that's the right thing.
So it's not worth cranking up the production line?
Right.
I want to thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining me. We're going to continue this discussion, so expect a call from a producer once again.
Okay, sure, no problem.
For us to explore this. We've been on Jamaica Live on Bridge 99. We've been talking farming today. We're running out of time. I want to thank my producer, Tamar Campbell. Thank my studio engineer, Richie Rainford. Hope you enjoyed the discussion today. We're going to be back here next week, Monday, to talk about something else. And always to try to see if we can talk about things that matter, things that are important to us in Jamaica and to the Jamaicans who are abroad. God bless you. See you next week, Monday.